Jack is this amazing guy. When I first met Jack, and there still is, a lot of anxiety in the social world. Once he started going to school and stuff, you could tell he got very anxious when he had to go to school, had a hard time communicating with the other kids. If it was too loud, he'd have eruptions.
But sometimes I would be so out of control that they had to remove me from school for the rest of the day. I remember this one time I refused to go to lunch, so they literally had to drag my desk to a sensory room to try and calm me down.
So then we had him evaluated through the school, and they diagnosed him with ADHD, and that was around first, second grade, went through that whole process. Once we had to start doing the transition to high school, to back up, his psychiatrist had said, I really feel like he has Asperger's. So then we got evaluated with Easterseals, and then that's what led us to Brooke around his sophomore year. Easterseals Crossroads has made a difference by teaching him how to cope and pushing him past the point where into the uncomfortable. He and Brooke always, their theme is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I remember when I first came here, every time she asked me to do something I thought it was possible, and I always went, I can't.
And we really broke that down, that it's hard. It's not so much that you can't do it, but yeah, it's really hard for you to do this. And that's been a huge shift in his vocabulary and a mental shift for him, that he can and he's willing to do the work. It's hard, but I can work through it. And you really are seeing that in his behavior actions now, which is amazing.
The big one really was eating lunch in the cafeteria. There would be outbreaks when people tried to sit with him, and no one was allowed to sit with his table, to get to the point where he sat at a full table and engaged in conversations with them, and that wasn't stressful. To see him work through that and to graduate high school. When he walked across that stage, it was just huge, and he knew. He came down off the stage and did a big fist pump, so that was a big moment. To think about the little first grader that was under a table and wouldn't come out.
He's done with high school, you should jump right in, you should be work ready. And there's so much developmentally that has to happen to get to that point. And I think Jack is a great example of really working to build those executive functioning skills first. And volunteering in our in-data program has been a great opportunity for Jack to build those soft skills. He is actually taking in some of these donated computers that we get from across the state and refurbishing them and getting them ready for reuse, where we can repurpose and give them to individuals in the state of Indiana with a disability for free. And volunteering has been a great opportunity for Jack to build those soft skills, interact, have conversations with other volunteers like you would with a coworker, learning time management, how to get up, be someplace on time, and do that more on his own. Kids are resilient and can do amazing things, and so a lot of what we work with when we have a diagnosis like autism, we think that's a limitation or a setback, but in many ways there's a lot of great strengths, and that's a good thing about therapy, I think, is helping parents see the strengths also in their children and working with them towards these goals together. What I love about being at Easterseals is we're here every step of the way.